Please do so from the customer service portals or back at one of the customer entry points. Thank you very much. And thank you to George Bacon, with colleagues around the afternoon, giving you all that important information about what's going on the showground. What's going on at the airfield is that we're doing a quick runway inspection, taking the opportunity to do so display now. I think they're minutes late earlier. Of course, it's rather loud. And over the microphone for the last time today. black Australia. Region which is being carried out right now. Let's take a closer look at the type of structure, the front fuselage houses the radar, avionics, scanner, whistle, and wing. Then in-flight refueling floor. Central section has the dorsal air brake, advanced air intakes, and here there are two separate compartments with a titanium primary, and of course, the engine. in-season training to finesse all our maneuvers. Time to the split second.
Yeah.
Intonation being key to that timely response. This is the pinnacle of my RIAT career. Hang up RIAT 2. The team continues to repeat the background for years to come. Well, there was the footage of the team in action, but now it's time for the real thing to fill the skies over RAF there. But here to introduce them is Red 10 Squadron Leader RIAT.
Good afternoon, Royal. Here today at RIAT, but it's probably going to be the cloud. However, Royal International Air Tattoo, please put your hands together for the 2024 Royal Air Force Air Master Team. It's the Red Arrow! Arriving in that famous Diamond 9 with our world famous red, whites and blues trailing out the rear. Red 1 initially pulls him off and brings him off to the left-hand side, which shows to me he's starting the show flat. However, that gives you a great picture of that plan forward shape of that Diamond 9. Red 8 and 9 now moving themselves left and right into 9 Arrow. Leading the team this year, we have a new team leader for 2024. That's squad leader John Bond, known as Bondi. Bondi has been in the Red Arrows for 5 years before taking a year out in 2023 before coming back as a leader this year. He's a former Typhoon pilot, former qualified flying instructor on the Tucano, where he was the Tucano display pilot in 2012. As Reds 8 and 9 now perform a rollback, taking the 9 Arrow into Fred. Of the Normandy beaches on D-Day, and a tribute to all those that took part in the operation, and pay tribute to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. This is Spitfire. On the right of Red 1 is Red 2, squad leader Chris McCann. Chris is in his first year on the team. He was uniquely 41 Squadron, RAF Coningsby. Reds 4 and 5, the smoke goes off as the team roll out. November 2023 was the 20th anniversary of the final flight of one of the most iconic aircraft in aviation history. As the team roll out, there is no mistaking the majestic and iconic shape of the Concorde.
Coming left now. Holding
how many were taking that year, and they become the new pilots for the new year. Reds 8 and 9 now move backwards to two distinctive rows in the formation as they come in from the right in chevron. engineers, the mechanics, the operations, the public relations, the administrators, and they are known as the Blues. So for we kept it in for this year, this is the Tornado! The aboard call is made by Red 9 as Reds 8 and 9 roll around the rest of the formation. But watch for the colour change as Red 1 brings the team down the line. Named after Enid Blyton's famous 5 from the children's book. Which is still the aircraft that we fly today. The Hawk is actually 50 years old this year, an extremely agile and capable aeroplane, extremely fun to fly with all the pilots who have flown her, have a very special place in their heart for the Hawk. Rolling around 6 and 7, get your cameras ready, it's the Hannah break!
Down the section, you've had them right.
Tornado pilot, former Typhoon pilot, his third and final year on the team. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your cameras ready. The smoke comes on for the world famous Synchro Heart. Coming in from the high right-hand side is Renee spears the heart. Renee is Flight Lieutenant Rich Walker, an extremely accomplished aviator who employs both the Harriet and the Typhoon, as well as flown as a qualified flagship power roll. Smoke in corkscrew. For the first part of the manoeuvre we like to call the serpent. And you can really see that red, white and blue popping off against the grey skies. That red, white and blue is only visible due to the smoke bomb from the aerospace. That's a small tank of the belly of the aircraft of the serpent. That's a negative 3G and conduct an inverted barrel roll. Red 6 working hard against that negative G. All the blood rushing to his head as Red 6, 7, 8 and 9 hold on in a barrel roll to complete the mirror roll. Roll goes, the commanders Reds 2 and 3 roll to the outside. Clear goes, Reds 4 and 5 roll to the outside. In one of the hardest manoeuvres of new pilots each year have to master, this is rollbacks. Smoking red. As they do a wonderful 60 in the sky to celebrate 60 display seasons for the Red Arrows. Keep an eye on the 6 and 7 breaking underneath the 60. They'll pull up for their final manoeuvre of the show. Once again, only 100 feet above the airfield. They'll have that closing speed of over 800 miles per hour.
Every move and choreography of time. These jets frame the world stage, a celebration of skill. 60 years of excellence, 60 years of the Red Arrows.
Demonstration is brought to you jointly by 18 Squadron, the premier frontline operational Chinook Squadron, and the Joint Helicopter Support Squadron, known as JHSS. Over in the RIAT village today, we have a wide range of personnel who are critical at enabling the aircraft to take to the sky every day. We have folks from the ops team, survival equipment section, engineering team, and of course our aircrew, who are there to answer any questions you have. You can also get your hands on some aircraft components, try on our survival equipment, and purchase some limited edition merchandise, so please do pop over to say hello. But now, it's time to prepare yourselves for one of the highlights of today's flying display. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please turn your eyes to the sky for the 2024 Chinook Roll Demonstration. You can see the Chinook approaching from crowd right, carrying a battlefield gun on one of its 3 underslung load hooks. Flying and captaining the aircraft today is Flight Lieutenant Ian Cooper, known to us as Coops. One of the squadron's training captains, Coops has more than 1,000 hours on the Chinook, which he's got up on numerous operational deployments, including Australia and Hong Kong and Mali. Joining Coops in the Hong Kong today, after completing a ground tour as a flight commander on Op Herrick in Afghanistan, Dingle saw the light and transitioned across to aircrew. The Chinook is famous worldwide, not only for its ability to carry 3 underslung loads simultaneously, but also its load carrying capacity, both externally and internally. In today's configuration, the aircraft could carry an incredible 6 additional tons of freight and still achieve an impressive range of 300 miles. Today, the Chinook will simulate conducting an essential weapons drop off close to the front line. Under the watchful eye of Sergeant Lawson, JHSS have reckoned the landing site and will mark it with smoke. Not only does this identify the drop-off area, but also gives Coops an appreciation of the wind direction and strength. Once safely on the deck, the JHSS team will leave the aircraft in order to attach the gun to the Land Rover, provide mutual support ahead of moving it onwards to its battlefield location. The team are now positioning to drop the underslung load in front of you. Dropping off an underslung load requires robust and effective communication between all members of the crew, as the pilots are unable to see what's going on underneath the aircraft. This is achieved by crewmen in the rear cabin painting a mental picture for the pilots over the intercom, using voice marshalling to direct the aircraft to the precise drop-off point, and ensuring the aircraft lands safely clear of the load. At Odium, we're fortunate to have our own underslung load training area, and this allows crews to practice lifting a variety of items, from netted barrels to heavy ISO containers. This invaluable training wouldn't be possible without the support of JHSS, who offer specialist skills in underslung load operations. Having successfully dropped the gun, Coops is now manoeuvring the aircraft forward and down away from the load to allow the troops to disembark and set up in a defensive posture. After disembarking the troops, the aircraft will be looking to conduct an over-the-shoulder departure. This is a dynamic manoeuvre used to quickly move the aircraft away from enemy threats in front of them. As the aircraft climbs and builds rearwards momentum, the lower ballistic protection is presented to the threat. The aircraft's nose will be snapped around to give the crewmen effective weapon arms, should they be required, to defend the aircraft, its crew, and their passengers. As the aircraft
entire day?
Yeah, but we weren't able to load program.
No.
It's just got your
A charming little aircraft, the MFI-15. What do you use it for in the flying school?
Yeah, we're all flying school. That's the name we use it, but we actually, it's a selection unit. We select the candidates to do pilot training in the, which is done in the US. So we have a lot of people, applicants for to be a pilot, and we have about 5% of those coming through. So in the last stages, this is the selection program with about 20 hours in the sub-safari. There's about 50% washout.
Am I right in thinking that those who go on for the selection to pilot training have already undergone some pre-screening?
Yes, there's intensive medical and aptitude and all kinds of physical tests before they come to us. So there's a small percentage of the total applicants who comes to the flying school.
And who's leading it?
Yeah, the leader is Lieutenant Colonel Yogi, F-16 background, serving the first university in Norwegian. They're coming in now to make all the triangles for a 10,000 formation. The aircraft was all out green, military green, but they changed it during the early 2000s to yellow. The original color scheme for the Norwegian flying school was blue and yellow, which some of us think is even better than yellow only.
Sounds like a good idea for the 2025 display season.
Maybe. Formation now is chevron. And they will change formation when they turn away into the arrow formation. 100 knots.
So the other thing that appears evident in the layout of the design of the aircraft is the fact that the wings are neither top nor bottom mounted or shoulder mounted. What's the advantage of that?
Shoulder of the wings give you a
UK warship in that region. Back to the UK, he trained as a maritime counter-terrorism and interdiction pilot and spent 2 years on the Navy's equivalent of quick reaction alert, basically holding a short notice roster in case of maritime terrorism incidents. So out of that formation nose over, we now see the two Wildcats rejoining, heading back down to about 100 feet. And they'll be coming into the hover and initially moving rearwards to give you a bow. One rotor span between the two Wildcats now as they settle back down. Black 1 is about to pull Black 2 to face him as they get ready to fly the carousel, rotating around one another. So they're climbing. When they get to the top of the climb, you'll see a little bit of extra lateral separation being created between the pair. There it is. So getting ready here for the crossing nose over.
As a new build airframe or a Lynx or a Super Lynx can be used as a donor airframe in order to reduce costs. with the Wildcat sharing roughly 5% of its parts in common. In addition to the UK, the type is also flown by the Republic of Korea Navy and the Philippine Navy.
The Royal Navy Wildcat's new build airframe, so an option is available to customers should they wish.
Plenty of links still being available as donor airframes around the world.
Definitely. So climbing again in front of us. Ready for another vertiginous nose over. Navy versions of the Wildcat. Both of them have this wheel undercarriage. One way you used to be able to distinguish Navy from Army links was that the Army Air Corps links had skids as landing gear, and the naval ones had a wheel undercarriage. That was apart from the Army Mark 9s, which had wheels.
That made the reconnaissance or the recce of it very, very simple, as you say. It's changed, but it is slightly different in profile. In addition to the highly visible sea scanning radar, Wildcat, this variant we see in front of us, the HMA2, can carry a mix and match of missiles with up to 20 Mark short range and up to 4 Sea Venom heavy strike anti-surface missiles.
This is very much a part, isn't it, of the modernisation of Fleet Air Arm air power in recent years, with the F-35B Lightning, the Crow's Nest Merlin replacing the old AEW Sea Kings. We've got one of those Merlins here in the static for the first time, and the new Queen Elizabeth class carriers.
Technological upgrades have also increased interoperability with a platform proven in September 2022 and a maritime Wildcat laser designated a target, which was then subsequently attacked by an RAF Typhoon with a Paveway 4 model.
So a crossing break there in front of us as they swap positions. But they're now getting ready for their final break. Running in straight in front of you, the Leonardo Wildcat HMA2s of the Royal Navy Helicopter Display Team for 2024 Black Cats.
Just visible there, one of the two elements that relate to this aircraft.
And among the F-16s in the Viper line, a pair from the Royal Jordanian Air Force, which we've never seen before at the Air Tattoo. It's a long time since Jordan sent combat aircraft to one of our shows. But it's not a long time at all since we saw their national aerobatic team in the skies above Airford rolling for takeoff, getting ready to position for extra EA-330LX unlimited aerobatic aircraft of the Royal Jordanian Falcons. 2024 is the Royal Jordanian Falcons Director of Operations, Jamil Zayad. He's been with the team since 2002 and has some 3,700 flying hours. Now, we go over to the right, and we'll shortly see the formation changing. They just skirt a little bit of drifting low cloud. Heading into Team Tango formation with the two wingmen now coming up in line abreast on the leader for the Tango loop. After initially flying the mid-wing extra 300 for a few years, they switched to the low-wing 300L. And it was in 2018 that they upgraded to this outstanding 330LX model.
This aircraft, purpose-built for what we see in front of us, up to unlimited category of aerobatics, holding many world championships within its trophy cabinet.
And there, an uncomfortable negative G push out of that half Cuban. But they're pulling through down towards the right-hand end. Yes, mentioning World Championships there, Mark. This is the mount of choice, the Extra 330 series in single-seat 330SC form of France's national competition aerobatic team, which their Air Force operates, the Équipe de Voltige de l'Armée de l'Air, which has many world champions to its credit.
Yeah, absolutely. A derivative of this aircraft type was the winner of the Bill Hartree Memorial Trophy just a month ago at the RIAT Air Show.
Yes, with the French pilot, Capitaine Sébastien Suchet, at the controls. And more negative G now, as they perform an inverted turn. But all the while, the formation absolutely immaculate.
It's absolutely beautiful. This aircraft capable of a final string plus 10 and minus 10 Gs.
Separation, demonstrating extreme precision. The closed diamond is a Midnight Hawks trademark, and hardly any other display team flies in the sun. Today, the team will fly the diamond in excess of 700 kilometers per hour and experience up 5 times the force of gravity.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Flight transport, this from the Italian Air Force Flight Test Centre, from whom we saw the Master, Typhoon and Spartan displays earlier on. It's been on a visit with a VIP and is now heading back to their base at Pratica di Mare. While it lines up, a reminder that Planes TV are here live broadcasting the RIAT 2024 flying display, and you can watch it back later on their streaming service, which you can find at watch.planestv.com. And when you subscribe there, you'll get access to their back catalogue covering air tattoo highlights and those of other air shows stretching back in excess of 30 years. So to find out more and to subscribe, go to watch.planestv.com. Coming up on the programme, Spanish Harrier next, then the German Eurofighter and A400M, the Puffy Suisse with their full display, the second display of the day by the Boeing QA Ababil, the RIAT Typhoon, the Slovenian PC-9, the RAF F-35B, the Danish F-16, the solo Finnish Hawk, the Swedish Gripen, and the Saudi Hawks to finish the show. The end time back to be about 20 past 5. NATO assets. So much involved recently in halting air policing German Eurofighters working alongside RIAT Typhoons and halting air policing URA, the Luftwaffe or the action item. We wait for the EF2000 to vacate. And it comes.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice camera.
See a heavy transport in the show, and it comes in the form of the Airbus A400M. And in form from Airbus is a former number 70 Squadron commanding officer of what the RAF call the Atlas C1. What are the crew from this Luftwaffe unit going to be going through at this point before they set off for their display? Meantime, here's the A400M on the roll.
You got that one. That's the
aircraft and its crew from Lufttransport Geschwader or Air Transport Wing 62, based at Wunstorf, and the crew headed by Major Christopher Hike. Very, very impressive angles of banking to attain, and even limited its pitch. That's right. I don't think you'll see it on display today, but its pitch is about 120 degrees angle of bank. Beyond the 90, quite unusual for such a big aircraft. You can see it today. 62 comes under the operational control of European Air Transport Command, and that coordinates the military air transport and air to air refuelling assets of 7 EU member states. A400M is operated, of course, here in the UK, being Royal Air Force, we're seeing a lot of quite rightly nowadays, and the Luftwaffe took trials in 2022 with 50% sustainable aviation fuel being used for all one of its A400Ms, and they're aiming to build up to 100% sustainable fuel when such a thing becomes available and viable.
Right across the Airbus group and inside Airbus, we're very committed to assisting our customers, like the Royal Air Force, like the Luftwaffe, achieve their net zero targets.
For their full display. It's the Swiss Air Force, it's the Patrie Suisse, and this is Captain Jody Follomet.
Thank you so much, Ben. Esteemed audience, the aviation enthusiasts on behalf of the Swiss Army and the Swiss Air Force, as well as the whole Patrie Suisse team, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you here for the Royal International Air Tattoo 2020. What an extraordinary honour and pleasure to be here in our 60th anniversary year. If you look to the right, you can see the 6-ship formation of exercise Tiger 2 lined up, ready for departure, just waiting for the leader call to put military power, ATC clearance and helicopter.
This sounds like a very possible standard beyond this road fighter, but it's also a very capable closely dog fighter as well. And the friendly episode was made combat action for the first time in June 1949, when their F-15 claimed 5 Syrian Air Force MiG-21s shot down. This aircraft has only been developed ever since, still about so many air arms inventories, and that's now through the Qatar Emiri Air Force with the aircraft we're about to see. Presented by that air arm in partnership with the Boeing company, flown by pilot Jason Doctor and weapons systems officer.
seeing is point the aircraft back towards the ground, shortly diverting its energy into a large power source, expecting that engine to accelerate across.
Based at RIAT in Norfolk, and it's running in now from the right.
This aircraft has probably the best call sign so far at RIAT. Call sign Stunt 1.
Navy operates the F-35B variant, which has a short takeoff and landing capability, enabling it to operate from HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales. F-35B unit, but the first aircraft arrived at Mara in June
terms of fixed-wing aircraft, the closest that you will have seen today. It was really, really, if you're anywhere near it, it depends on the technical area. It's about
jet for this season. Unfortunately, it went unserviceable on Friday. Yesterday, they brought in this aircraft as the spare from Denmark yesterday morning. It was prepared, ready to display yesterday afternoon, which it did in quite terrible conditions. And so it's really well worth all of those efforts to have got one of the most beautiful skies of the whole RIAT weekend to see the display from Captain